going on, everyone? It's Leifon here, and welcome back to another podcast episode with the official Otaku Crew. As a reminder, all the official Otaku Crew podcast episodes can be found on Anchor.fm, Spotify, as well as YouTube at the official Otaku Crew. I'll save the rest for last, as always. And a shout out to our sponsor for the episode. We're going to plug them in somewhere around here. So they're pretty cool. Be sure to check out their website and their deals that are ongoing. Today's episode, I am joined by Andy and Wiseman Lee, and we will be endeavoring to review something pretty interesting. Now, the thing is, in all my time in this podcasting business, it hasn't been very long, there are only really two authors that I find I can be intimidated by. And I'm not going to tell you what the first one is, but I could tell you this one. It's Tolkien. So without further ado, today's episode, we are doing a review of The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Now, I have very little information on Tolkien himself. Yes, like we've seen the movie, some have read the book, some have read the Silmarillion, Rings of Power, blah, 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 blah. But still approaching this topic, I will try to not like say anything that's contradictory to what true fans have put out.
Don't count on it. Oh.
So yeah, let's get down to it. Before we go into any review, I do want to give some information about the movie, just some general thoughts and
a recap synopsis.
Well, before I get to that, I want to tell you about the director. Actually, I find him he's a very interesting one. So director of the movie is Kenji Kamiyama. His notable works are a few Ghost in the Shell movies, Eden of the East, Ultraman, and Star Wars Visions. He did do one episode. I think it was something titled The Ninth Jedi or Sith. I didn't watch the series myself, but our podcast has covered Star Wars Visions in the past, so be sure to check that out. And of course,
do you know which season?
Season 1.
That was a long time ago now. I wouldn't remember.
Much when we first started out. And studios involved New Line Cinema, Warner Bros. Animations, and a few others. Not really as important as these two. Funny enough, though, this is not the first time Lord of the Rings has had an animated film done. It isn't. Actually, the first one was actually the animated Hobbit film in 1977, and then following Lord of the Rings animated film in 1978. Thing is, that movie...
You are correct.
Yep, that movie only covered the first, the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers. They didn't go as far as the Return of the King. However, it's interesting to see, like, after so many years, we're getting another animated feature. And so I'm going to open up the floor to you guys, whoever wants to go first. Just tell us what you think. General thoughts. Did it bomb the box office based on the returns, or did you like it? Did you hate it?
I have so much judgment.
Okay, Andy, go for it.
I'll let Andy go first.
I have so much judgment. Well, I'm not gonna greatly. I'm gonna judge the movie based on. I love Lord of the Rings. I do love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is great. The story is by Tolkien. I have no idea if this movie was adapted from any of the stories at all, like from any old books. Frankly, if I had to choose between watching this movie again or recommending this movie to somebody, I would just say watch The Two Towers again, and you pretty much watched the same movie.
Wow.
No, Andy, you're right. And there was...
That's because I did just watch The Two Towers. It's the same movie.
Except you got Legolas on a shield going down the stairs. That's enough.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, and no one in a random wedding dress.
That's true. This is true. Also,
like, I love it and I hate the wedding dress at the same time. Anyway,
I know in the theater you were saying why. I'm like, plot armor.
It was what it's Chekhov's gun. Did anyone know Chekhov's gun? You guys, did I explain Chekhov's gun? Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's
the concept of Chekhov's gun in film and theater is that when you see a gun in a movie or in anything, it's almost the gun has to go off at some point.
Yeah.
In the movie. For me, the moment they pulled out the wedding dress, that was Chekhov's wedding dress. It's like at some point she's gonna put it on.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm jumping to the end of the movie. No,
Got it.
my biggest judgment is actually not the story. It is the animation itself. The art style is pretty. The art style was nice, but the animation itself was so janky. The movements were not fluid. It seemed like there was missing panels, and some of the shots made no sense. You could see obvious freezes of characters, and also the the melding between 3D animation and the 2D animation was so stupid looking.
Jarring. It was jarring a bit, especially at the
It
beginning
was.
when it opens up the movie. You're like, "Is this anime movie?" Like, I couldn't tell. Like, it felt like live
Yeah, because
action.
like you notice it in animes like Attack on Titan, you notice it, but the thing is, it still melds well together. Where it's like, okay, like you could see this was done in 3D and this was done 2D, but at least the art styles are similar. But in this one, it looked like the art style for the anime stuff and the 3D animation art style was completely two different things. It didn't merge together very well. I don't know if they weren't textured well or they weren't colored well, or it was just it was really hard to focus on the story when I'm looking at the animation and wondering, why is he moving like that? Why is this happening? Why are they hugging? Why is there a wedding dress?
Why? 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 Why?
Wearing dress really got to you, and you're like, "Yeah, no, this can't happen.
It's something that
Impossible."
I just like the moment they pulled out, I was like, okay, great. Why?
And you're like, how is that well kept, maintained throughout those
Like
years and centuries that passed by?
it real yeah, but it also had holes in it. I was
It's the
like,
old
okay,
woman.
she's
She
not
kept to
gonna wear
maintain. She's
it.
like, no, the old woman kept to maintain. She's like, at one point someone's gonna come visit me, and then it's gonna be a nice, beautiful woman who's gonna get to wear this dress, so I gotta get it ready for that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like the first time I saw the wedding dress, I was like, "Oh, please don't tell me she's gonna put it on." And then the moment the scene came, I was like, "Oh shit, she's gonna put it on." Ah, for the tuck of a character. I don't like the villain. I like the
Yes.
villain in the first
Yes,
hour.
let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Why is that?
Yes.
You kept saying many things about the wolf, but by all means, go for it.
Ah, yes, please take it away.
Well, okay. Well, since you asked about general thoughts, the movie, it's okay. Like yes, we had problems with the animation at the beginning, like Andy says. And when the movie first started, you didn't feel like you were in Middle Earth until the music played, the Rohan theme. I was like, oh yes, I'm back to Lord of the Rings universe. This is Middle Earth for me. But like I said, the story's pretty simple. It's generic. It's nothing that stands out. So for the villain, he is the weakest villain I've seen so far in any story. He is such a beta cuck,
Beta! Beta male!
as I would say, a beta cuck.
It's true.
This
Dude
guy,
gets
this guy
rejected
is
and it
one
makes his whole
dimensional.
personality.
That's it. This guy's one dimensional, and like, there's no like character development behind him. He just wants to like pretty much wreck everything because his father died, and then his girl rejected him. And I was like, my guy, maybe Andrew Tate should give you some lessons on how to be a man.
Honestly, at this point, yeah. Like his father died in the stupidest way. Dude
One punch,
provoked the
one
king.
punch
The
man.
king, yeah,
One
the
Punch
king
Man.
just socked him once, and
The
he
king's
fell
like,
over
wait, I
dead.
didn't hit him that hard. Yeah, I didn't hit him that hard.
Yeah,
No,
like he's trying
we
to
were just,
justify it
we
too.
were,
He's
we
like,
were
"Hey, it
just.
wasn't that hard." It's like it was that hard.
He challenged me. Yeah, the king's like, he challenged me. What did I do?
I said, do you wanna fight me? Do you wanna catch these hands? Bitch, I'll beat your ass.
Yeah, and then makes his whole personality. It's like, oh my god, this girl rejected me, and my dad was stupid and died. I'm gonna just go off into exile, make an army,
Yep.
and kill every single person this woman loves
Yep.
brutally.
Not a great plan.
He just had a vendetta. He's like, I'll do this for my father. I'm just going to, pretty much wreck Rohan and take it for myself. And I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of boring.
They could have given him
I
like a
guess.
bit of a conflict, like more like moral
Yeah, yeah.
conflict.
Here's the funny thing. I thought at one point we would see more because they had that flashback between him and Hera when they were children fighting, play fighting.
That was
They could
cute.
they could have built something behind that too, but nothing came of it.
Yeah, it almost made it useless, that backstory, if I'm honest.
What a waste of time.
Well, I think
Just kind of
it
it,
helped
to- it
more.
told us something we already knew.
No, but I think
besides the scar, but
it helped them more for Hera than Wolf, because Hera kind of cared for him, whereas Wolf maybe he had feelings for her, but then I don't know. After his dad dying and him being rejected, he's like for everything. I was like, oh,
I'm
very
upset because
tragic to hear.
they drew him hot too. They drew him hot,
That's the one thing that was going for him.
and
I
then they
think
drew him stupid.
He's so hot, I would let him degrade me.
I like the connection here. He's hot. Wait, no, he's stupid. Never mind.
Yeah, no, literally. By the end of it, I was like, he's no longer hot. He's just an idiot. He's just an idiot.
I feel like all the men in this movie were kind of dumb, especially the knights too. They're like, what's it called? They're seized up in that fortress, and they're like, "There's no way we can stop them. We've given up hope and everything." And Hera's like, "Don't worry, I'll carry on for you guys. I'll take you to safety." I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, she's doing more than you guys.
You want to know who the real stupidest character is?
Go for it.
It's Wolf's advisor.
Yo,
So
man.
this man has this man. I thought I had so much faith in this guy. He seemed to be the smartest one. Telling Wolf was like, "Hey, how about let's not go attack them anymore? Like you already killed the brother. You already killed this. Like you already won. How about let's just retreat? You got a bunch of gold and stuff." It's like, and then he's like, "Okay, well now you spent all the gold. How about let's just leave while we have still won? Like why are we still here?" And then
I think the army was suffering too, right? Because once they got to the fortress, it was
it was winter, and then they had no more money.
And he's like, well, let's take care of our people, because like they're gonna die if we don't go. And Wolf was like, no, I will have my vengeance.
Honestly, the moment that happened, the moment that Wolf came in and said like, "Oh, you want your gold? Oh, there's so much gold in Helm's Deep." The moment Wolf said that, and the advisor's like, "You're lying," he should have just fucked off right there. That's when the smartest character became the dumbest character. He should have just fucked off, because if he did, he wouldn't have died.
Okay, yeah, you make a good point.
Stupidly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
I would have.
Yeah. Well, I fact checked myself on that. It was Dun Harrow, and then it got changed to Helm's Deep. And
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, had to throw that in. I would have not rested if
job.
I got the name.
Good job, Leifon.
Yep,
you're.
I only remember Helm's Deep.
Now.
Yeah, of course, and
that's all we remember.
You are right that the advisor. I was like you come off all Mr. Suave, and you can do this. You're a great advisor, but you get done in.
He stayed. Why did he stay? He should have left.
Yeah,
he should have just said, "You know what? There's nothing there for him. There was no more money. Wolf had completely lost his mind. At this point, he should have been like, you know what? I think it's over. I don't think this is going to go anywhere good. The moment they realize there's no gold in the temple, they're all going to kill us, so might as well just leave."
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
But no, he stayed and died like a idiot.
So this movie, it pretty much... Okay, so it was a box office bomb, and the critics definitely panned this movie as pretty bad.
Yeah,
and
they did.
Fair enough, this movie had its fair criticism, of course. But I have to admit, overall, I did come out enjoying the movie for what it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
I enjoyed criticizing it. I'll be honest. I had a lot of energy out after this movie.
We have fair
stupid,
but wouldn't you say there were some parts of the movie that you did maybe enjoy?
You know what? The wedding dress is my favorite scene.
Oh my god! After you pander it, now you're like, no, what? That is my best scene. That's my favorite.
Hey, I'm allowed to hate something and love something at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. That means you're very conflicted about it.
Because I agree with you completely. I really enjoyed coming out of that movie. I think that was really fun. The worst part about it is the animation. That if the animation was better and more fluid and didn't distract me from the story, I would have loved this movie so much better, because the story itself, though it being a bit generic, it was interesting. It was like the writing was fine. I wish they would have included any other scene that we haven't seen before.
I think the writing should have been better, for sure. The writing should have been better. And correct me if I'm
the
not wrong.
characters need to be written a little better.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm not wrong. I think this movie's supposed to come out before COVID, no? And then because of COVID, it got delayed?
I have no idea.
Oh, maybe I might be wrong, but I might be wrong.
I'm not even 100% sure.
I'll be honest,
this movie I was hoping to rely on you, our resident expert.
I told you this, Tolkien, man. Don't go asking me.
But anyway, I wasn't sure if it was because of the layoffs they did. It was the reason why the animation was bad.
Cool.
I was gonna say if it was the case because of COVID, then they had time to work on this quite a bit. But the way they left it as it is, then a little disappointing for sure. But like I said, the movie is enjoyable. Like if I had to compare this movie to, let's say, Rings of Power, I think I'll choose this movie over Rings of
Oh,
Power.
without doubt.
Rings of
Without
Power,
doubt.
yeah, Rings of Power. I'm just like it's a drag watching this, and I'm like, and it's not that great either. Like season 2 got a bit better, of course, but there were still problems with it too. But like, yeah, sorry, I'll take this anime movie over Rings of Power.
Mhm.
And to be honest, War for Rohirrim, it does fall under Peter Jackson's
Scope.
well, his entire filmography of the
True.
Lord of the Rings. So
Well,
it makes sense. It takes place in that universe.
yeah,
And
I do agree.
yeah.
Mhm.
So let's talk about Hera, guys. What would you think of Hera?
Wait, wait,
Is she
wait,
a
wait, wait.
is she a
Wise man, are you skipping me and what my favorite scene was? Like you ask Andy, but you don't ask me. What up with that?
I'm
Wow.
sorry, you're the host. You're the host. You go ahead and
No, no, no.
delegate this
You can be the host.
show.
Hostess mostess.
Um,
I'm
every
sorry, Leifan. What did you think?
everyone's opinion so far has been pretty accurate to what everyone else has been saying. Like the art has been janky for sure. Wolf is an incel beta male cuck, as Wise Man Lee would say.
Beta male.
And yeah, a lot of things were going well. I don't even know where they're going. But a few of the strong points I found present in the movie had to be the ride of the Rohirrim, like when Helm Hammerhand starts saying ride now, rise a Rohan, blah blah, and starts yelling death and everything. It reminded me. It literally was a callback to the
The live action movie. Yep.
Return of the King, because the King's literally saying ride to ruin and the world's end, and starts yelling death and everything. So I was like, yes, yes, but we knew what
Oh,
was
no,
gonna
for
happen.
sure. Like I said, the music it got to me. Like I'm like I felt like this was Lord of the Rings, and then there were many Easter eggs that you notice that whenever they talk about Rohan and
Yeah.
the whole
Mhm.
Middle Earth, you can tell what they were referencing to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the girl who would accompany Hera, Eowyn, right?
Mm.
The girl who plays the live action Eowyn, it was her voicing her anyway. I
Oh,
forgot her
okay,
name.
so it was her. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought she was like
It wasn't.
the
I
voice.
remember. I remember. Her name was Miranda Otto. She showed up in the credits, so it was
Mm.
her voicing her. So I was like, okay, cool. So you brought some old a stapled old cast member
Mm-hmm.
for the anime movie. That's very chill.
They brought a
Although
bit
I'm
of the
not
original
sure
cast, didn't they?
most of
Like
them. Yes.
Mary and Pippin were in it.
Oh god, the
Yeah,
banter.
I couldn't tell that was them playing the goblins until you guys pointed it out.
It
Then at
took
the
a
credit
while.
scene,
And
I was like,
orcs, come
oh,
on, man, get it right. They're
yeah,
not goblins.
my bad.
Orcs.
The goblins.
Oh yeah, I gotta say that.
Orcs.
Yes,
The goblins. Yeah, I didn't know it was them.
yeah. I had to listen closely. And I'm like, is that them? Is that them? I'm like, it's them. It was so innocent and funny, and the way they tie it in is like, why are we collecting rings from Mordor? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then they put that one ring inside their purse. I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, is that it? Is that it?" I'm
Uh,
like, "Yeah."
I doubt that was the one, but then again, it's 200 years before the
No, Gollum
Yeah, I
has
was gonna
it.
ask,
oh
when
Gollum
was the
has it.
timeline again?
Gollum still has the ring at this point.
Yeah.
They're collecting rings because they're looking for the ring.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
Actually,
this, so this
Bilbo
is
might have it at this.
It's
okay. So this is taking place after the Hobbit, right?
it's the thing
I
is
might be
it's 200 years before the Fellowship was formed. 200
Okay,
years
so there,
before.
so it's 200 years before the
So
Fellowship
Gollum might
and the
just
ring.
have it. Yeah.
Yeah, so because Bilbo's was when the
100
Fellowship did. He was
111 or
100
something.
180,
He
100
lived
and
long.
something.
Yeah. Okay. So
Old ass man.
who's been spread?
So
out
it would have
before.
happened. It would have happened before the Hobbit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chronologically. So they're still looking for the
Yeah.
ring.
Very much so.
Oh, so maybe it's before the Hobbit. Story
Yeah,
takes
for
place?
sure.
Yes,
It would be
yes. It'd be before the Hobbit. Yeah, because Helm's Deep was called Helm's Deep during the Hobbit.
Mhm.
Why didn't they show any other places in this movie? Why was it
Well, they
like
show
the reason why I say
Isengard.
that? Yeah, but I mean, any places we've never seen before.
Oh.
They wanted
Every
new
scene,
locations.
yeah, no new locations. It was all things that, again, if you watch the second movie, if you watch the Two Towers or whatever,
Andy, you're on the
it's
warpath. It's just like just watch the second film. Forget
Yeah, honestly, because I just watched the second film yesterday. And I'm watching it, and all I'm thinking of is like all these scenes are the same from the animated movie. It's like they copy pasted it and traced over them. It's like
I think
there's no
a
other
part of the movie
places.
was like hitting the nostalgia notes for sure. So
Watch the
there's very
original movies if you want nostalgia.
yeah no, but like for this movie, in order to get those old fans back from the original movies, they had to do all the nostalgia behind it too. So very little in this movie was like original work, I guess. Originality behind it was kind of lacking, but that's it.
Yeah, it seemed lazy more than nostalgic. The best part that was nostalgic is the music. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
So I
in
was looking
terms
this
of
up.
yeah,
Sorry, go on. You want to say something?
I don't know. I was gonna say like in terms of scenes, it seemed lazy. In terms like the storyboard, it seemed lazy.
Actually, Andy, there was something, now that you mentioned storyboard, one thing did stand out to me because I didn't know this, like, at least in the second movie, it wasn't very prevalent that there were, like... Hey everyone, this episode is sponsored by Audible. If you're like me and you want to find yourself a pastime but don't have enough time in the day due to school, work, or commuting, let me present to you Audible. Now, many of you have heard about Audible, but I'm going to tell you a bit more about it. Audible is an American online audiobook and podcast service that lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment on one app, whether it be, for example, a few in my library are His Dark Materials, Percy Jackson, Aragon, Witcher, Lord of the Rings, and many more for you to discover. You can always find audio for books you have been wanting to read or podcasts you've been dying to listen to. You will also find all the Otaku Crew up-to-date episodes lists available on Audible. As an Audible member, you can also choose one title a month to keep from the entire catalog, which includes the latest bestsellers and new releases. If you follow our Audible link, www.audibletrial.com/officialotakucrew, you can start a free 30-day trial. So go to Audible now and start your free trial. You now return back to your scheduled episode. Clans or something, other lords set up around the domain of Rohan, because Wolf's dad comes in because he's like some sort of notorious warlord, and he's gathering the other lords to maybe oppose Helm Hammerhand. So I was like, okay, so there is a political tension going on.
Well, not only that,
between
here's the thing. What was the guy's name? Freka, right? Freka. So
Yeah.
like Freka, he despises Gondor, right? Because he's like
Mhm.
he has a thing against Gondor. So he's like, yo, we're not gonna bend our knee to Gondor. I'm gonna come here and make Rohan great again. he's gonna do like the Trump thing. It's like, I'm gonna make Rohan great again, and I'm gonna lead us to like a better country, a better nation, whatever the land is. So he's like, there was like, it's pretty much just like a civil war happening in Rohan.
Mm-hmm. Internal conflict.
Mhm.
Bringing in the Shield Maidens was cool because that is referenced in the older movies too. That they're an old clan. That's
Yeah, we got a bit of backstory on them for sure. Yeah,
not enough. I honestly, if they made the story more focused on the Shield Maidens, like they actually like put more Shield Maiden lore into the story, that would have been cool. There was not enough. There was not enough.
I would like some more
so
lore on the Eagles, just to know a bit more. Because
Eagles Ex Machina.
don't get us started on
That's
the
my
Eagles.
other issue with the movie.
Oh wait, I
You
looked
can't
it up.
solve everything with Eagles.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Sure you can.
Guys, I looked it up. So the movie it's set 183 years before the events of the War of the Ring.
Okay, I'm close enough.
But that's still close to the movie timeline trilogy.
Yeah, that's still before The Hobbit.
That's just a couple off.
Yeah?
So I'm close enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the movie focuses quite a bit on Hera, our main protagonist. What did you guys think of that? That the story is more centered around her.
I wasn't mad about it.
I liked her. I liked her.
Redheads.
Honestly, I think she was written pretty well, except for that one scene where she suddenly forgot how to fight.
How to fight?
Oh, was that in the barn where?
Yeah, the barn.
Yeah, the barn scene
She
where
suddenly
the
forgets how to
knight
fight.
of
It's like, you're a badass who knows how. Like, you clearly know how to use a sword. You're actually a skilled swordsman, and suddenly you just forgot how to fight and became damsel in distress. It's like,
The
what
horse-
the
Yeah.
fuck was
The horse was
that?
the night of
better
the night of the king betrays the king. and
Yeah.
then he just has just starts like a fire on the bar, and the girl's like, "Oh, I lost my
It's like-
footing. Don't hurt
it's like-
me."
Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, no, like that's. And then meanwhile, at the end of the movie, does a freaking backflip over a wolf in a wedding dress
her
with a
wedding
sword and a
dress.
shield. It's like,
What?
bro, there's no excuse. No
The
excuse.
face palm I saw you do mid movie when that happened, you're like, I'm done, guys.
Yes. Oh my god, you should have seen the facial expressions of that movie. I'm like, the fuck's going?
Funny enough, in Tolkien's work, she is not mentioned anywhere. It's more Hammerhand who's mentioned throughout
Yeah.
the written works, but she is not mentioned anywhere. So, do you think the studio kind of took
Creative liberties.
creative liberties and kind of made an original story just centered on her, and just with like Hammerhand as like the support?
Well, they
Else
did mention it at the
support.
beginning of like in the like in the narration. I mean, I'm sure they probably wrote it in to kind of say like why she's not she's not referenced anywhere. It's like, oh, it's just like the greatest story ever told that she's not a part of or something, or like her name's not mentioned in history. Like there was a line of that something that said
Okay,
like,
gotcha. So it was mentioned.
yeah, it
So
was mentioned, but
she's just
you're right.
forgettable, I guess, at this point.
But you're right. They definitely like wrote this story and created this character.
My favorite character has got to be Helm Hammerhand. Like
Oh,
he
without a
was
doubt.
pretty well written, and that's that part where he kind of gets sick and looks like he's on death's road,
Door.
and then he just comes back to life and just ripping every other creature, every other person apart, and literally my
Dude.
guy is just taking out everybody, and then he just
Oh yeah,
he dies while frozen outside, like fighting off everybody.
Yo,
else.
that's-
that was a
That's
stupid
the
way to
go
kill him.
out.
That was the All Might way to go out. Come on, he did the pose.
The all
and
might way to
everything.
go.
No,
Yeah, he had
that
like his
was
hand up in the air and everything.
you're too lazy to animate a really cool dying scene. Instead, you just fade to black and he's just frozen in place. What?
I don't know. I thought it was a cool way to go out. It's like this guy just froze to death while fighting. I was like, "Alright, man, my guy's a G. He actually put up something."
Yo, he's
I
like
was
strong
so
hands.
confused though.
It's cold. That's why. It's winter.
Dude just froze to death
In a half
in
sleep.
in the All Might
I
position.
mean, Andy, hypothermia
Yes.
does exist.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
You don't freeze upright. Why
Well,
couldn't they just kill them properly?
oh, it's because he has the blood of I don't know, not Numenorian blood, but he has some ancient blood in him, and so that's why they couldn't take him down.
Look, this is Middle Earth. There's magic. There's a bunch of.
I forget though. Which
The
one.
only
living
reason
creatures,
why
like,
he died that way was because they didn't want to
Our laws
animate
do not apply in this
anymore.
world.
And people just didn't want to open the door. Like if the door
They
had
didn't want to
opened,
draw him
they're done.
anymore.
Mm.
No,
he
they're
told him to keep it
tired of
shut.
drawing him.
Yeah, yeah.
It was such an
But
interesting
anyway,
way to kill him.
He took
Helm
down a
Hammerhand is my
troll.
favorite character.
How did this man
But he
take
was
down a
very cool.
troll with his bare hands? It was just a fist fight. I'm like, bro.
One
He had
punch
a
man.
reawakening.
Dude was beast.
Oh, and it only took one punch to kill Wolf's dad. So I'm like, whoa, one punch against that, a couple against this one. This guy was doing serious damage.
I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows his own strength. That's the
No.
problem.
no, he does not.
Speaking of, it just occurred to me because I was thinking of like, oh, other characters are like, it's like I like the brother that comes back at the end to save him.
You mean the cousin, no?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, you're right. Oh no, it was actually the cousin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
even
believe he was
worse.
the cousin.
That's even worse because
Mm.
the two towers. It's the exact same shit that happens. It's the nephew that comes down
No, that's
to save
true.
him.
That was a flashback.
At the
basically,
end.
And he's like
It's-
putting the dots together. It's like, oh shit, no, it's exactly the same thing.
It's the same scene. It's like almost in my mind, frame for frame, the exact same scene. They're
And
like all
mention it,
fighting
but
on
I've
the
used it
ground
single
now,
movies.
and then from the mountaintop,
Down the
cousin shows up with an army
bottom.
to come save everybody. The same
I gotta
shit
say-
happens.
I gotta say this though, like most of the movie takes place behind the fortress because they're all trapped and everything.
Mhm.
And we know there's like the eagles up there on top of that mountain, and then they're building this giant tower to get into the fortress. And remember, I made that joke to you guys. I was like, "Yo, why does the eagle just sweep down and just take out that tower and just let it be, and then those guys will just die off in the winter, and boom, that's the end of the movie. I'm like,
it's too easy.
the
Use-
Eagles can
use the
actually
Eagles
solve
is too
stuff.
easy.
We could rely on them.
Well, the eagle in the end did save them.
Technically, yeah.
No, in the end, the hero's like, "Oh, can you go tell my cousin over there to bring us support?" He goes like, "I bet I could be doing other stuff, but I'll go help you with this."
Yep.
But,
Oh, you can't save all your things with eagles.
I feel like we're roasting this movie too much.
I think
wanna
we
talk about
No,
more positive
no, no,
stuff.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
not at all. It's fine. That's fine. It deserves to be roasted.
Okay.
This is
Again,
why I'm
I
here.
enjoyed the movie. That's the thing. I still enjoyed the movie. Dialogue
Oh,
wise was still okay. It was still good.
oh yeah, it's fun to roast. Like there's some movies you roast because you absolutely despise them. This one is more like I have so many issues with it, but it was still nice. Like it was still fun. I still
Yeah.
enjoyed myself. Animation could have been better, but there's just so many fun things to make fun. It's like that best friend that you have that you could just easily roast and it's funny, but you still love them
Would
and
you
they love
ever
you. You know?
would you ever consider going back to rewatch it maybe at one point?
I rather watch the Two
It's never,
Towers
it's
again.
never on TV.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's unfortunate.
Okay, I have a
Yeah.
question. No, here, then let me give you this. If you had a choice between watching this and The Power, what are you gonna watch?
I haven't actually watched Ring of Power. I
Okay,
would.
then you're safe.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I've just been
Don't
watching
bother.
rewatching
Don't
old
bother.
ones.
Leifan, what about you? What would you choose?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It?
It's a
Okay.
bit tough. Actually, no. I'd probably just watch War of the Rohirrim again.
That's what I was thinking, man. Rings of Power.
Yeah,
Let me tell you, Andy, it's worse than War for Rohirrim.
just get that nonsense out of my face. Let me just watch War of the Rohirrim because at least I can feel some nostalgia coming from it. Some nostalgia.
Yeah.
I'm just done with spin-off shows nowadays.
I felt
How
like
did you
There's too
guys
many.
feel about?
oh
Well, I was gonna ask, how did you guys feel about the old characters from the old movies returning? So we saw Saruman played by Christopher Lee.
Yeah,
That's
for 2 seconds at
great.
the end, but he's dead.
AI bot. Yes.
Yeah, the AI Christopher Lee because he
Did you
passed away a
guys
long time ago.
enjoy seeing him?
Oh yeah,
Did
I
you
was
guys
like,
enjoy seeing him, or was
this is
it?
how he comes into the fold. Basically, this is him setting up for the War of the Rings. He doesn't know it, but this is the setup.
I just wasn't sure why he was there and why. I was more confused. Just like, wait, but isn't this actor dead?
AI chat.
I
feel like
think
he could've-
I think they must have gone to the Christopher Lee's families, his estate, and gotten permission to use his voice recordings, whatever he left behind, to use, and they just kind of edited them and put it together to make that line.
Yeah, which is fine. I thought
It was literally
that was
just
a
one
cute
line.
detail, but I didn't understand why you're teasing him in at the end.
Well,
does it make sense that he's there at that time?
there's two things.
It does nothing to the story.
It really doesn't for that particular story. However, we first hear when Wolf takes over Isengard, it's like who would be stupid enough to take over Isengard because it's abandoned right now. So I'm like, okay, so Saruman hasn't come there yet, and then at the end it comes full circle. He's like, oh, I took up occupancy. I'm like, shit.
So it's more of an Easter egg cameo.
I feel like there was just a lot of Easter eggs being thrown into
Nostalgia.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
A little unnecessary, some of them, but that's just me.
No, I agree. I think it was very unnecessary. I think you could have taken 50% of that nostalgia and actually written a good story.
That's true. What was the name of the Hera's maid? I forget.
Eowyn, we just said it, no?
Who?
Eowyn.
Hera's maid? The old lady? Not old.
That her? The one who shot arrows, that's her, no?
Yeah, shot arrows, had the little shield and everything.
Wait, her name's
Yep.
Eowyn, like the character from the
Oh.
main series?
I think so, and it was played by the same the voice was the same girl who played
notice
Eowyn.
that. Okay, I did not notice that. Okay, that's on
I
me.
didn't realize it
She's
was
the
the
one that's
same name.
narrating the story, from what I remember.
Okay, that part makes sense. I just didn't know she was playing an actual character at the same time.
Anyone
Played by
else
Miranda
feel
Otto.
a strange romance between the maid and Hera? Like
A
a
lot more.
weird romantic,
So
like a
I
weird
didn't
romantic
get
tension
that
between the two.
vibe.
I was getting like a
No, I didn't get
parental
that vibe.
love type of deal, but Andy, if you're
Yeah,
getting
maybe
it
more
that
like
way-
Well, the thing is, like, I'm not like it. Just I also had that. Like at first it was but there was just at some point where it's like, this feels odd. Just a little.
Maybe by the end, I could see what you're going. I could see what you're going for because they are the only ones who kind of stick together, whereas everybody is kind of gone.
Hmm.
So,
Which is fine. Like,
who
I'm not
knows?
trying to force
Yeah.
romance on this movie at all. I actually like the fact that romance wasn't a big part of it. But I don't know. I just felt romantic tension somewhere. I was like, I feel like that those vibes could be a little different, but whatever.
Yeah.
But that's like a little thing. I still loved it though. I still loved like the sisterly bond but if you were gonna go that route, I feel like they could have went all in and like focused more on it. I feel like if they didn't touch on it enough, like making all the men stupid and making most of the women smart is not the way to write like women empowerment, in my opinion.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
Yep, there's other ways for sure.
Yeah, I think there could have been a nicer, a better, more interesting way to write it. It felt not forced, but like the opposite of that. Felt like it wasn't really
thought out.
I don't know. Yeah. There's just some things about it that just didn't make sense.
Okay, I could see the choppiness and the rush nature. Now that we're just listing all these things, I'm trying to find some redeeming qualities. It's actually very difficult.
The art style was pretty.
Yeah.
I like how people are drawn.
Cool.
The
if you take everything in screen,
one.
It was nice.
Oh, yo, can we talk about that shit? I forgot. Remember when that swamp thing comes down and just grabs the elephant
and just eats
drags
it?
him inside? I was like, I'm like, is that the same one we saw from the Fellowship of the Ring?
No. The Watcher. There's more than one, and there's more creatures in the deep that we don't know about. That's why Gandalf always said, at least in the book, to not throw the ring into the deep because we don't know what else lies down there.
Oh yeah, don't disturb the water. So, because you're talking about the vagina with teeth.
What did he say?
Yes.
Ate the elephant. I don't know. There's one way that they drew it. I'm like, that looks familiar.
Oh shit.
Poor Ollie Font. That's
like,
bad for him.
It went from a monster to like, okay.
Went from an island to a monster to something else.
I'm sorry. My brain went so many different places during that movie. It just like the movie. The movie went to so many different places. My brain went there. I don't know. I was trying not to laugh. Probably when my hands were in my head was in my hands.
If we had like some drinks on us, we could turn this movie to a drinking game, and then Andy would just be like
gone.
Wasted.
Oh, I would drink at any moment I wanted to cry, and I wouldn't put the bottle down.
Every time you thought it was cringe or facepalm, you're just like,
like, this could have been done better. Why is it like this? Yeah, no. We could make a really fun drinking game with this.
Yeah.
Drink every time Wolf's a little bitch.
You heard it here, guys. That's the game you should be playing when you watch the film.
Yeah.
Drink anytime. Every time a character freezes for no reason, like the animators stop drawing their movements, and you notice.
Okay, would we count Hera's the younger brother? He's riding the horse. The horse gives out, and he just stops. He's like, "Oh well, I guess that's the end for me, guys." Gets captured,
only
and then
like he actually
he thought he could stand his ground, but I'm like, who are you kidding, man? You're going against a badass.
You play the lute. You play the damn lute, boy.
Dude's a bard.
Exactly. You are not a knight, but I felt bad for him because it seemed
I felt bad for the whole family.
Yeah, it got pushed on him because as a son he has to go to war. I'm like, oh, bro, you just want to play the lute. I get you.
And he was the youngest, right?
Yeah, the older one. Well, arrow through the neck.
He got an arrow to the neck. I was like, oh no.
I was like,
it puts a whole new meaning to I used to be adventure, but then I got an arrow to the knee, or should I say to my neck.
I was like, damn. I'm like, you guys are the son of Helm Hammerhand. You went out like a bitch.
Tragic.
Come on.
Yeah, honestly, how are you the offspring of that man and you die like that?
Yeah.
What can I
Where
say?
did the genes go?
Was more organized.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, The fighting in this movie was pretty chill. It was pretty good though. I enjoyed
You
it. It
mean
was.
Oh yeah.
when Helm sort of just like one punched everyone that was coming at him, or
Yep.
Well, I did say he's my favorite character, and he stood his ground. Like he fought against bigger opponents too, and he was not not letting up. He was definitely like
at this point they should
he was.
just
He
put
brought the hammer. I'll say that.
that he did. They should just put a scene of him fighting an eagle or something at this point. I'm like,
Oh,
they're just
God.
fighting.
He just
Oh
tears
my
the
god,
eagle
just
in
punching
half.
an eagle out of the sky. That would have been epic. No offense to eagles. I love the eagles. I just think
That's how
they're
you end
unnecessary.
that's how you end the movie.
Yes.
How about him riding an eagle going into battle
With a hammer and everything, yes.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
Yes.
Dude, the eagle would be riding him.
New Line Cinema, take notes, take notes.
Hell yeah. No, we should write the next movie.
Oh, speaking
Honestly,
of New Line Cinema, I think I remember hearing that they made this movie in order for them to keep the movie rights for
Oh.
Lord of the Rings. I could be wrong though.
That's
But
stupid.
it's a rumor I heard.
That's possible.
And it's
Ah,
like, that's
it's-
stupid. But
Well,
now
it's
it makes
'cause-
sense why this stupid movie was made.
That's because Disney keeps doing it. It's like you can't make there's no excuse to make crappy movies if the only reason you're doing it is just to keep your copyright rights on it.
Well, again, I don't think it was that much of a crappy movie, but yeah.
Who
It could have been a million times better.
It could have. With Andy's direction, it could have.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
Frankly, yes. Put me in there. Let me write this movie. Just put me in there. I will write it. It will be flippin' epic.
I believe that.
Wonder
Peter Jackson, come on.
if I had to pull in a surprise cameo, because I think Saruman was interested in cameo, but if I had to put a surprise cameo in this movie,
Would it be?
frankly, I actually think Gollum would have been more appropriate,
Mm,
personally.
yeah, like somewhere off in the mountains, like from Helm's Deep. I don't know.
Oh.
Just zoom out to
Oh no,
another
yeah,
mountain
he's
and
chilling
you get to
he's
see
chilling
him.
in Helm's Deep with the old lady. That'd be good. That'd be a perfect place
Yeah.
to put him.
I think throwing Gollum in it for
Mm.
some reason, like I think
And-
that would have
and-
been a more fun cameo to
And
put.
then Gandalf got a shout out too.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
okay. He
like
came
she-
in rings
like
of
here-
power
like-
already, man. We don't need to give.
Oh
give-
no,
give-
we don't
give
talk about
him.
that. We don't talk about that. No. It's not the same.
And then
Hera
I
and
think
her companion are off to see Gandalf.
Oh yes. Okay, yes.
That's
Oh,
really
thank-
way off.
Yeah.
there were no elves in this movie, were there?
Shit, and there weren't.
I don't
Shit.
think- Maybe there was one. I don't know. There was definitely a hobbit. There was that. Remember that hobbit, that other servant in the family?
He's not a
The
hobbit
halfling?
though.
That's not a hobbit. That's just a really short, chubby dude.
Now that's just mean.
It's a Sam.
Hobbits are
It's a
tiny.
Sam, but
I
not
think it was
hobbit.
trying. Oh my god! I think it was trying to imply that he is a halfling.
I don't think so. I think hobbits are much, much smaller. This guy just seemed like a
Definitely wasn't a dwarf.
small dude.
I thought it was a child.
I thought he was just a short,
no.
chubby. He was just a short king. Pretty sure he's just a human.
Now I'm.
Because I think hobbits would have different
Mm.
would be
You
drawn
guys
differently.
remember his name? What was his name?
Oh god, I don't remember it.
I barely remember anybody's name in this movie. I
The
just
announcer.
remember the wedding dress,
The announcer. I don't know.
the Stuart. I think, or it was like the young
He's-
Stuart.
He's the steward of Rohan, not the steward of Gondor.
Yeah, because Stuart of Gondor's an idiot and
Mm.
threw himself and
From
tried,
a building. Yep.
on fire. It's great.
On fire. On plus.
That's rough, buddy.
No blues.
Oh god. Oh.
But yeah, no, because another interesting cameo would have been fun if there were like more elves reference. Would be Sting. I think that would be kind of cool. And I'm talking about the
Legolas?
sword.
Yeah. The
No,
sword.
I'm actually talking about the sword. Sting.
Mm-hmm.
The sword that glows blue
Yeah.
that Bilbo
Yeah, we get it,
and
we get
Frodo
it.
had. I think that would have been a fun like Easter egg if
Mhm.
it because that would be something that you kind of have to pay attention to in order to like see. Those would be my two like nostalgia Easter eggs I would have put in this movie if I had the power, and I would also have written it so much better and probably would have given it a totally different setting than Rohan, because no offense, but Rohan is so forgettable. Honestly, out of all the stages that you could have put, there's so many more interesting places.
That's
I think it would have been really cool if it focused more in
Gondor.
not really. I was actually thinking of the Mines of
Shire?
Moria.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Not against that. Moria is just an interesting place overall.
Yeah, I think like I mean, well, I guess The Hobbit really focuses more on the dwarves,
True.
which is cool, and I love that.
Yeah.
I think the dwarves were more interesting in terms of like the settings and the stories that they had, the lore. Men be kind of boring. Elves are pretty, and they could do more with the elves, but I don't know. I think The Hobbit did a very good job at that, but this
At
was
least the
just
first
every
one, yeah.
single scene was something I've seen before. I wish there could have been something they could have even done the Temple of the Dead or whatever. The king from the third movie.
That place in the
in
mountains,
Return of the
right?
King.
Yeah,
The
the
mountain.
Those
passing the mountains with
the men
all
in
the
the
thieves
mountain.
and murderers
Mm.
back before they kind of lost their lives.
Yeah,
Well,
before they betrayed Gondor and didn't come for aid. Yeah.
yeah, slowly became the undead. That kind of would have been cool too.
That
Like
would've been cool.
there's some other parts that I think would have been fun if you wanted to go the nostalgia way and kind of go off of some old lore. It'd be fun to kind of go into stuff
So,
like that instead of
Instead
got a
of
question
why
for you
Helm's Deep
guys.
is called Helm's Deep.
Well, it's kind of lame how they came up with the name. Oh, this place is now called Helm's Deep, and I'm like, okay, sure, as if we didn't know it was coming. I had a question for you all though. So this is our first ever like anime style Lord of the Rings movie. Should the studio continue maybe making more of this anime style Lord of the Rings movie, or do you think this was just a trial and it didn't succeed as it is?
That's a good question.
If
I mean, I'd be down to see more if they can write better stories, of course, with better characters. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm along the same lines because there is a lot more that could be explored. Like I don't know the other. What was it? No, it's 3. No, 7. 7 rings for the dwarves, was it, or was it 8?
Nobody cares.
7, right?
It doesn't matter, but
It,
my
it,
question
it
is, you want to
matters
see
into what I'm
more in that
saying.
style.
So 3 for the
But you want,
elves,
but
7.
well, what you sound sounds like what you're saying is like you want to see like the like that kind of story, like far back in the past prequel in the anime style.
Yes, I want
Which
to
is
see
pretty much
the
that ring. Which is
other.
pretty much you want to see Rings of Power in anime.
No,
Anime
what I
style.
want to see
For
are
me.
the 5 other dwarf kingdoms. Because we see Erebor and we see Moria. What about the other 5? I want to know what happens to them. So
I actually kind of want to see the movie based on the wizards. Like I want to see the other wizards. We didn't never saw
the 2
the
blues and
twins.
everyone, yeah, the wizard
Yeah, the
guys, right?
twins and everybody.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad if they don't want to make a full movie out of it. Make an animated film out of it. Tap into it, guys. But please.
What about you, Andy? Like if they got better in the animation, you think you'd be up for it?
I would change the art style a bit. Like that, like, because I do say that the art style itself is pretty good, but at the same time, I do think it's very basic. I would definitely, if you really ramped up the art style, made it something a bit more unique, then yeah, I definitely would. I would love to see more anime style Lord of the Rings stuff, but it has to be written well and done with intention, not just for
the sake of
keeping your copyright alive.
True.
Again, I cannot confirm this, Andy. I just think I read this, and
I believe it though. I
don't know if it was
unfortunately
rumor,
believe
but
it.
now you're taking it as gospel. So I'm like, okay.
Well, because isn't Harry Potter doing the same thing? Aren't they about to remake Harry Potter?
They've already
When
started, probably.
you want to know what really sucks about that?
That's not to retain the rights though. Warner Bros. Still has the rights. I think they're just doing it to like, for one for the new generation, of course, and 2 it's to make bank.
Warner Brothers, have disappointed me. I've watched some old Warner Brothers movies and even rewatched Harry Potter over the holidays. And I'll be honest, I think peak animation, like CGI and stuff, was from that era. Because CGI nowadays is so weird looking.
Or lazy now,
Yeah, because movies rely so much on CGI now, but back then with Harry Potter and the first Lord of the Rings trilogy, they did not rely a lot on CGI. CGI helped complement the practical art that came into it, the sets
go
and
back to
all the
basics.
scenes and stuff. Yes, if we go back to that, plus with a little peppering of good animation, it's so much nicer.
Chef's kiss, yeah.
I go back to those movies, I'm like, this looks so much better than any of the Marvel movies I've seen recently. How is something from the 2000s and 2010s looks better than what's coming out from the 2020s?
True.
It's because everything's gotten so lazy. Anyway,
Well,
that's I could have a whole other episode on that, but I will save us from that torment.
well, there's not much more to say. Like I said, this movie we just pretty much roasted it. But like I said, there are some good qualities behind the movie. It's Lord of the Rings. It's very nostalgic. Um,
Roasted to a
most
crisp.
most characters are good. Storyline's okay. So for our audience watching out there, like if you have not given it a chance, I would definitely say go watch this movie and come back and let us know what you think. Of course,
Yes,
love to hear
frankly,
the
if
thoughts.
watch it, enjoy it, drink if you can. I actually would recommend this movie to people.
Yeah.
Just because
You want
if they have no idea what they're in for, please go watch it because it's just you get to see their reactions and it's funny.
any of you want to give it a score, or should we just leave it as it is?
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 6 wedding dresses.
Still a good score. It's more than a pass.
I'll take it. Like it's good enough that I'd watch it again. That's to
Yeah.
me is a pass. I would watch it again, not sober. Granted, I wouldn't go watch it in the theater again because I would want to verbally judge it out loud, and I don't do that in movie theaters. But I would watch it. I would watch it again, even though I would prefer. At the end of the day, it was still a little disappointing. It could have been a
Yeah,
lot better, and you
yeah.
could tell that Warner Brothers is lacking in a lot of their fields nowadays, and not just Warner Brothers. A lot of studios over there in Hollywood are not putting out what they could for, and I'm pretty sure it's all still the financial reasons.
Could be.
They're
I give this
cheaping us
movie
out.
a 6 out of 10 wedding dresses. Enjoyable enough that it passes. Definitely will go back to watch it again if ever it's on TV or like not voluntarily, but ever if I
It
catch it on
comes
the
on,
background,
yeah.
I'll like watch it on. Yeah, I'll continue watching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
around.
it. Yeah.
I'm around the same wise, man. Like I'll give it what the IMDb gave it. It was like a 6.2 on 10. So
I
yeah,
gave it a 6.2. That's way too high.
I think Rotten Tomatoes
Damn.
gave it even less in percentage, but I don't know.
At the end of the day, just watch the original trilogy. It's gonna be a lot better. You're gonna feel less disappointed, and you're watching basically the same movie.
Wait, we just said go watch the movie, and now you guys are saying no, go watch the original
Oh,
original
Andy's
trilogy.
saying that. I'm not saying
Oh,
anything.
if you have a choice between watching this movie and then watching the original trilogy, please just watch the original trilogy.
Well, I'll still say this: if you have not watched the movie, give it a shot, and maybe you still come out enjoying it.
Take it with a
As I
grain of
did.
salt. That's all.
Go in with very slow expectations.
All right, so
We'll see that. Yeah.
I think we've more or less established a precedent here, so we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. So yeah, everyone, if you like,
Wait. I just had one more thing to say. So I looked it up quick. So on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave War for Rohirrim 45%, but the audience gave it 83%.
well,
What?
what's wrong with them?
You know what?
Well, again, like
I'll give it to them. I'll give that. That's fine. I can live with that.
yeah, like I said, the movie was getting panned by the critics and everything. They just came out hating it. But like I said, there's enough in there that you will like and enjoy the movie. So 83%. Yes, it
Cool.
kind of makes sense. It's a bit too high, maybe. You could say that for sure.
Give it
Maybe it
like a
should be like in the
70.
70,
Yeah.
70, yeah. But people did come on enjoying it, so good for them. I'm happy for that.
Okay.
That's my final thought. Sorry.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap it up now. So yeah, guys, if you like that, be sure to check out the official Otaku at the following social media handles. You got Instagram, TheOfficialOtakuCrew, the TikTok channel, the official Otaku, the Twitch channel at the official Otaku Crew, the Facebook page at the official Otaku Crew, and the Discord squad. My name's Leifon. We're signing out. Peace.